Georgia. Are you there?
Yes, I am. I was waiting for you to call me.
Um,
Say
oh yeah,
something to me.
yeah. I always do the introduction before I pop you on because like people populate.
Right.
Yeah. How
But
you
I,
doing?
I was waiting for your voice because your voice kind of is my timer.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's my
N-
fault.
Not a problem. Not a problem. I'm
Yeah.
I'm flexible. We're flexible,
Hey.
and I'm always excited. I'm always excited.
Yeah.
There are a whole lot going on. I mean,
Hey. Tell me about.
nationally, locally, uh, everywhere you look, there are things going on, and we use this show to just try to keep people informed about
Yeah.
what's happening here in the 757.
Yeah.
So,
So they
with
don't have to
that
take
being
too many
said,
medications.
I am excited to be here. Always excited to see you, Captain 85, the
Yeah.
Dream Maker, and just talking about what is important to our community. As always, this is GA for Justice. We welcome you. We welcome you to our weekly conversation for information, our weekly conversation for correction, as well as our weekly conversation for transformation. We're always looking at ways that we can hopefully help to educate the community to get more involved. A lot has to do with us either getting in the game or sitting on the sideline. So we have to make that decision that we want to be in the game because we cannot uh, sit on the sideline and expect the positive outcomes to be there for us. We can hope it will be there for us, but we can't really have great expectations that what we want or what we need will be there for us. So today we have a special guest, Kezia Hendricks. Kezia is a business owner. And of course, most of you know that I love to talk about economics because that is something that we are going to have to work on a little bit more strategically, a little more unitedly, if we expect to have a better outcome. Again, we have Kezia Hendricks. She's an entrepreneur. She is an advocate. She's highly skilled in helping our youth. Mrs. Hendricks started a nonprofit called Young Investors Group. It is a social internship that helps at-risk teens with learning life skills by educating them on how to increase their emotional intelligence, hands-on training in financial management, investments in real estate, business, and wealth management to decrease generational poverty in high crime and income zip codes. Um, Kezia has been advocate in the area. She fight on behalf of especially our young men. She has a passion for our young men, and this is fabulous because we've seen a lot of negativity that is coming out of our inner cities, out of our local communities, out of our neighborhoods, and we need to have men and women on the ground to help change the trajectory of what has been taking place. So, with that being said, I'm trying to get a thumbs up that she's able to tap in. Okay, she has not been able to tap in yet. Um, so we're waiting on her to be able to click on to the link and come on the air. In the meantime, here in Hampton Roads in Virginia Beach, especially, we got a city council meeting coming up. I mean, a city council election coming up in November. And I just want to just continue to remind everyone that election day is November the 8th, 2022. And all elections have impacts on us economically. How our government spends money helps us or can harm us economically. So, any guests that I have on, regardless of what their background is, at the end of the day, it still boils down to politics. Again, we have an upcoming election. I want to just remind people we need everyone to go to the polls to vote. We need people to understand that things don't always happen in 5 minutes, that it takes some time. Again, the boycott to change how we ride the bus was 382 days of men and women, elderly and children walking for 382 days. And they did not give up. So neither should we. We need to know that we do have to continue to work and in order to change things in our local communities. Again, it begins with politics. Our election is November 8th, 2022. We also have early voting or in-person voting, which starts on Friday, September the 23rd, 2022, and early voting will end on November the 5th, 2022 at 5 p.m. So we want to continue to keep you with the right information, with the accurate information, so that you know and you can tell your neighbors, you can tell your family, you can tell your friends, so that we can make sure that when it comes to voting, that we're all at the polls. We don't have the luxury of sitting out an election because we're not uh, we're angry about one item on the list of items that we said we wanted. We don't have the luxury of sitting out because 3 items passed, 2 did not pass. We don't have the luxury of sitting out, but we do have the ability to find out why the items that we wanted to pass did not pass. Or we have the luxury to find out why the entire bill did not pass, but only a portion of what we wanted passed. And we do that by going back and looking at legislation and looking at what went through and look at who voted against it. That is up to us. Voting is about economics. Voting is about creating wealth, believe it or not. Because if I have a community that has an enterprise zone or an opportunity zone or an empowerment zone, which is basically all the same thing, they just tweak it here, there, depending upon who's in the White House or who's in our state legislature, they tweak it. And so one year it may be enterprise, one year it may be opportunity, one year it may be empowerment. But at the end of the day, that is economics that can come into our community. Now, how it comes into our community is determined by who we vote for. So if we're not putting people in office who will ensure or help to ensure that the businesses that come into our community to build these economic empowerment zones are not businesses that represent our interests, then we're going to have outsiders coming in and they're going to build, they're going to cause the homes and apartments and everything around us to escalate in price and put our community in a position where we can no longer afford to live in a place that we've called our home for years. So politics and economics go hand in hand. And I want you to understand that clearly, because a lot of times we want to take them and separate them and compartmentalize them versus realizing that they're all interconnected and how they work together. It's going to cause us to have some challenges. But at the same time, we can always overcome challenges. We can confront those challenges. We can go and talk with persons who are in position of authority and make demands of them so that we can help ourselves to get out of some of these challenges. But that's a choice. That's our choice. That's our choice, either sit on the sideline or get actively involved in the game. That's up to us. We must do that. We cannot rely on someone else to do that for us. That is up to us to make sure that we're in the game, that we're working to make things better for ourselves and better for those who are coming behind us. We have an excellent opportunity right now to begin to change the landscape. This year in the city of Virginia Beach, the election process changed. So politics is important. It's very, very important. Politics is extremely important. Having the opportunity to elect a person in your neighborhood, in your community, that you have built relationships with, that will work on issues that you care about. In the city of Virginia Beach, we now have 10 districts. 10 districts means that we vote single member. We don't vote citywide anymore. So therefore, if we have a candidate that we care about, that we want to see elected to office, we don't have to be concerned that as we vote, that someone in another neighborhood vote against the candidate that we feel is the best person to represent our interests. The other thing about it is it's a lot easier to remove someone from office if they don't live up to the standards that we require. But it's up to us to share with that elected officials what our standards are, what our principles are, what our expectations are. We cannot just allow them to make decisions for us. We must be involved in the decision making. So we let them know what our expectations are. We let them know what our values and our principles are. And we make sure that if we put them in office, we can also take them out of office. So with that being said, again, we are excited about today's show. It's going to be a combination show, a combination of economics and a combination of politics.
Right.
And I'll need a thumbs up when she's there. Okay. So were you able to get the link out?
I done sent it 4 times.
Okay.
You send me a number.
All righty. I will send you a number. All righty. Okay, technology works sometimes, and sometimes technology can be a little bit of a challenge. So stay with us. Know that we are here. We're still in the fight to make a difference in our community because our community is important to us. It's important to us and it's important for our children. And so we're going to continue to be out here on the front line, talking with you, sharing with you, and letting you know how important it is for us to give you the information that you need so that you can make the type of decisions that will be lasting for your children, our children, and those who are coming behind us. I will continue week after week making sure that I give you information that I hope will resonate with you, that I hope will be beneficial to you, and that I hope that you don't just listen to it, but that you use it, you share it, and you do what you can to make a difference in our community. Again, I want us to get actively involved in the things that are going to benefit us long term. This year, we have elections in several districts. So I'm going to share that with you. We have elections in District 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, and 10. And these are all city council districts as well as school board districts. We also have elections for our U.S. Congress, and that is House District Seat number 2, okay, in the state of Virginia. And we have 2 candidates in that race. Jen Kiggins, and Elaine Loria. Elaine is this current incumbent of that seat, and Jen is her opponent. And so when you're looking at the candidates, you want to know, what are you going to work on that is going to be a benefit to me and to my community? Please understand, you will not get everything that you want. But guess what? You can get a lot of things that you want if you do what I love to do, and that is pick up the phone. Call the Congress people. Pick up the phone. Let them know what your concerns are. Stop by the office, visit with them, let them know what your concerns are. And if they have not been able to pass legislation that you like, and I know a lot of people are interested in the eliminating school debt, and there was a lot of different options on the table, but finally there has to be one that people will vote on and will pass. So some of you may feel that, oh my God, I was hoping that more debt would be eliminated. Well, my message to you is, if the people who have worked to help eliminate that debt did not get the type of support that they needed from the folks who don't want you to eliminate the debt, then my suggestion to you is, get rid of the folks who voted against eliminating the debt. If that's something that's important to you, don't get angry with the people who voted to eliminate the debt. Get angry at the people who voted against it. We are excited. Kezia is here, so we're going to bring her on the screen so she can talk to you about generational wealth and how we can do that and how young people can get started. Hi, Kezia.
Hello, hello. How are you?
I am wonderful. I'm wonderful. I kind of showed them how politics work along with what you're trying to do, because as people vote, okay,
Yes,
that impacts us. You know,
it
I know
definitely
a
does.
lot of people are looking at that student loan debt, and I want people to understand, find out who voted against it, because the people that you needed to vote for it probably voted for it. But
Hmm.
guess what? They might just need a little bit more help in order to make that debt that they're pulling down just a little bit bigger.
Absolutely. Yeah. And actually, what you really reminded me of something that I saw that said that, $10,000 is great, but Black women alone, we have at least over $50,000 in debt when it comes to student loans. Although we are the most educated, we are also the most in debt. And
Right.
so when we do, shoot for goals like creating generational wealth through real estate, oftentimes something like student debt and loans and things like that sometimes overrides that. And
Mhm.
so I think that it is important to talk about who voted for what, and keeping
Mhm.
track of when they are on that campaign trail, you know what I mean, and they say that they are supporting women of color and
Mhm.
children of color. Just really, it makes a difference to see who, what they voted.
Absolutely.
How did you vote? You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
When it was time to have, provide opportunities for the people that you say that you represent and that you support.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're excited to have you, because you talk about generation wealth. You talk with our young people on how to build wealth. And so share with the audience today, because it's so critical for them to know what it is and what it's going to take.
Absolutely. One of the things that I love to talk about is the generational wealth through real estate, through skills, learning the financial industry through skills, not just by basic knowledge, and really having a clear, have clear goals to set when it comes to creating generational wealth. Um, I think that a lot of people plan to, purchase home, purchase real estate. We got a lot of real estate investors. We got a lot of people that's out here getting Airbnbs and all of that. But how are your children going to manage that, right? um how do we show them how to still enjoy their lives, still do what they want to do, and keep up with things, the seeds that we have planted. I was talking to my son the other day, and I was trying to explain to him there is no reason why you should be starting from scratch.
Right.
Like, I started from scratch. My mother started from scratch. My father started from scratch. No reason why you should be starting from scratch, because in his mind he was like, well, Mom, why, I'm planning to go in here and I'm planning to go there. And I'm like, okay, you can go and visit those places. I see a lot of Black people. You ask them like, okay, where are you from? I'm from here, I'm from there, and are you gonna go back? What I'm finding is that people of other cultures, their families are staying where their mother and father created generational wealth, because they refuse to start over. And then a lot of times what I find in our community, when our parents and grandparents and great grandparents get older, we move to a different state and we live there now. Why aren't you going back to Norfolk? Well, I just want to move and I want to experience somewhere else. Well, people in other cultures, do you know what they're doing? They're making sure that their children are experiencing other states, other countries. They're traveling the whole time between like 13 and 18. They've been to so many countries, so many different states, so they don't feel like that they're stuck. Because a lot of us, we feel like we're stuck. Oh, I need to see something else. Well, you don't have to pick up and move. And
Right.
you don't got to pick up and move to a totally different country just to see something else. And
Right.
that's the thing. So I think, even let's talk about travel. My girl over at Nick's, oh Lord Jesus, I should know, Nick's Time Travel, right? She has a traveling agency. I think we really need to take our young people and have them go on trips. I think, what is it called? Study abroad. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? A lot of them are studying abroad, okay, and they're going to see other things, and that way they don't have to feel like that they ain't seen nothing else. You see what I'm saying? And then they
Absolutely.
take all of our hard work. We go and we buy houses and we, create wealth, and they go and sell it to the lowest bidder, literally.
Lois Bitter is absolutely right. Have you ever seen the area called L and J Garden in
No,
Virginia
where is
Beach?
that?
L and J Garden is right there with that Norfolk shopping center, right off of Northampton Boulevard, near the Norfolk Airport Hilton. It used
Okay.
to be Airport Hilton. You come
Hmm.
down
Hmm.
and you come down from Norfolk, come in Virginia Beach, and there's that Norfolk Mall. Well,
Oh,
across Norfolk Mall is Ellen J Gardens, which was a area that was built back in the 50s or 60s because white people would not let black people move into certain neighborhoods. And so what the black people did is they bought that whole acreage, and I can't remember how many acres it is now,
say it
and
ain't
they
so.
built their own homes. They were specifically designed. Every house was uh, specially designed, so you don't walk into a cookie cutter neighborhood. They all have their uniqueness. Some you walk in and you step down into the living room. Others you walk in and you step up into the living room. I mean, it is just amazing, and the architect and the design is just absolutely awesome.
Hmm.
Well, these were just regular school teachers. These were doctors and lawyers and other people who came in and built there. The Riddick family, I think they're cousins to Paul Riddick.
Hmm.
It was the Riddick family that bought up the whole entire acreage, and then they sold off lots, and the lot had to be a certain size.
Hmm.
Well, all these people invested all of that money into that land. And now you drive through, and guess who's now living there? Because the children and the grandchildren decided, well, I just don't want to live there. And all I could think of is you have a house that chances are is probably paid for. Okay. So you got all of this equity in this house. And even if you didn't want to stay there, you could rent, but guess what? Because you don't have a huge mortgage or anything on the house. Look at the young families, the young Black military families that you could have offered them an opportunity to live there for 3 years or whatever, how long they're assigned here, and not charge them this enormous amount of money. You could have charged them plenty and still made a profit, but not overcharge them till it was draining them. And you could have talked to them about, okay, since you don't have to pay $2,000 or $3,000 a month, you can use your BOQ for a smaller amount, put some of your money away, begin to build your wealth. And so we could have literally helped generations of people to build wealth simply because we had property that was probably, I would venture to say many of those homes are paid off. But if you ride through there now, the folks who insisted they could not live next to us are now buying all those homes up. And they're all brick. I think that was another thing. They had to be a brick home. They could not be wood. They had to be brick homes. Beautiful homes.
So when we talk about how do we get back to it, I think that the land and real estate ownership is mad important. And I think that, we just need to get back to that. We need to get back to building our own and the people, the working class, the people that are hard workers. And then we need to teach our children how to manage that, and then teach them why it's important, and show them Tulsa, Oklahoma, and show them, the information that you just talked about. So I'm looking forward to spreading that word. And one of the ways that we are spreading that word is we are having our 2022 InvestaCon. So it's a youth and family investment conference where we are going to be sharing and talking about how to help teach your youth and teach your families how to manage that generational wealth. We get a lot of people that's talking about, generational wealth, but we got to train, the Bible says train the child up in the way that they should go. And when they get old, they won't depart. And I think what's happening is we're doing all this collection. So that's why history repeats itself. Okay. History repeats itself. Just like my generation is woke enough to buy up all this property. Okay. They were woke to buy all that property and do what they did. Right. But I think the part that we're missing is transferring and teaching how to manage that generational poverty. And that's what we will be getting into. We will have family games. We will have Norfolk State School of Business is
and when is this?
This is October 1st.
October 1st. Okay.
Yeah, I have a flyer.
All right.
I can email the flyer.
Yes.
But we are super excited. Langley Federal Credit Union is one of our sponsors. We have New York Life, Farmers Insurance. We have some really amazing companies that are supporting our initiative. Centera. We have some amazing sponsors and some amazing people that will be sharing with us about ways that we can both create generational wealth, how to teach our youth and our families how to manage it, and just really have a good time and through economic empowerment.
Absolutely, that is fantastic. So, do we have to register? I have a grandson that is 14 or will be 14 this year, I think. And I know you have a passion for our young men.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so,
so you do have to register.
Male and female, correct?
Male and female, yeah, absolutely.
This one, and it's called InvestoCon.
Yep, InvestaCon.
InvestaCon.
Yep, InvestaCon is on Eventbrite right now. The tickets are low this year, so we made it affordable. So it's $15 for one person, and it's, I believe, don't quote, $30 for two or more. So you could have a family of 4, you can have a family of 5, and it's only $30.
Okay.
And so we just want to make sure that everybody can register and get in there. Tickets are limited. So seating is limited. And so we
And where's it
definitely,
located again?
it's going to be at Norfolk State School of the Norfolk State School of Business is hosting it. I will have for everybody that registers, we will send the specific details.
Okay.
Because it's not going to be a at the door event. It's going to be ticket and registration only. So we want to make sure that if you want to go ahead and register, you want to register early because these seats will move fast.
Yes. That sounds fantastic. Henderson, do you have anything to ask Kezia? Because this is exciting.
Yeah, well, right now I'm just listening to get informed, and I know she said she has a flyer. She can send that flyer to me so I can put it up on the page and distribute it. With a wealth of knowledge, we have to get that to the young people, because everything that people see, that what people don't truly understand when it comes to the city and think it's designed that way. Young people don't look at the news.
They don't.
They don't look at the news. So you try to tell them we got to take back the community. Who you talking to? The criminal?
Exactly. He ain't. I don't even know that he looking at the news.
Right. So we have to get engaged more so as a community to be able to reach young people where they are. That's why people are like, well, you're old man. Why are you walking around with this hat on?
I'm excited
because I'm on their level. I'm the person that say, hey, look, if I can look like this at my age, why are you throwing your life away and getting gun violence? Create something. Get your mind on another level. And that's what I'm saying is, send that flyer so I can put it out.
Yep. I was going to say, I just sent the flyer, and, that is one of the things. So we have a podcast with the kids. It's called Finishing Green. And, one of the days that we were meeting to prepare for them, I was like, okay, I need to teach y'all something. Like, I need to, we need to go over a few things. There's a few things I need to teach y'all. Because for the past, 2 months, they've been just learning media. And I'm like, you guys are investors and you have to know about investors. So we went over, which they already knew some, because a lot of them were in the program year before, but we hadn't gotten to any of it this summer. And so it was very interesting to get their feedback on their learning style. And I think a lot of organizations, they don't really research what the kids are interested in to even teach them what they need to know. And I think that's one of the things that Young Investors Group has done very well. We've done a really great job of identifying how to make things interesting to the kids, how to teach them something that most people fail at teaching them, which is financial education and personal finance and economic empowerment. A lot of youth, they do like this.
Exactly. And that is so true.
Class. Or they doing this.
Right.
Absolutely. So
absolutely.
It is extremely important that we do our research and talk to them and like Henderson said, he said, get their attention, because it's not on the news. It's not on the news.
Let me share this. You were talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma. We have a city right down the street from us in Wilmington, North Carolina, that also experienced very similar situation as Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I'm thinking, well, what if we took a trip down there? What if we were able to find someone to sponsor a bus, get some young people, take them down to Wilmington, pull the information up on it in advance, let them read up about Wilmington, and then see who do we have down there that could perhaps give us a tour and share with us those various businesses that were once there that are no longer there. Because we may not be able to get all the way over to Tulsa, Oklahoma, but we probably can go down the road a piece, as the old folks say. I can go down the road a piece and get down to Wilmington now. And that's a way that we can let them see for themselves what our people had done, and teach them that, if they could do it, then guess what? You have technology, you got cell phone, you got iPad, you got computers, you have podcasts, you have Google, you have all of these different things. And these people, they just rolled up their sleeve and started businesses. They just rolled up their sleeves and built buildings, they just rolled up their sleeves and created all of these different things. So guess what you can do? If they were able to do that, you should be able to do far more, far greater, far faster.
Yep. Absolutely. And I think that to add to what you're saying is they really love being hands-on. One of
Mhm.
the things that I found is they, you know, and I'm just going to talk about gang violence, right? I remember we had a few youth, and I always like to pick their brain, like I like to know what's on their mind, right? So I'm
Right.
like, what do you feel about when you meet, somebody who just get out of jail and they come and they, speak to y'all about their experience? And the boys was like, well, we don't care about that. Like, we don't even know them. You know what I'm saying? Like my brother been to prison too, and you know what I'm saying, or my uncle went to prison too, or my daddy went to prison too. So
Mhm.
a lot of times people think that like just talking to the youth about their experience and what they've done, like the youth, they can sit there and act like they're listening. They can even regurgitate what you're saying, but they
Mhm.
are not paying attention at all. Like they not. It's so funny because I called them out and they were like, "Yeah, you're right. Like we really don't be paying." I'm like, I know. I can tell when y'all not paying attention. Like
Right.
even if they like shake their head yes and repeat what you said, you can tell when they're not paying attention. So, or it's not resonating with them. Their feedback is very shallow, you know what I mean? Like it's just a lot of things when it comes to like our generation. See, my generation, I just turned 40, right? I graduated in 2000. And for my generation, you could talk to us, right? We would get intrigued by speakers coming, da 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 da. But you gotta understand, everything is on the internet.
Right.
One thing this generation Gen X, I'm I'm sorry, Generation
Z.
Z.
Mhm.
One of the things that you gonna know, they from the show me state. Okay,
Mhm.
you can tell, you can't tell them nothing. Like
Mhm.
you have to show them, and when I say show them, it has to be hands on,
Mhm.
because they're already inundated with information. Even listening to a podcast, unless it's something that is going to directly hit them where
Mhm.
they are, like they are not trying to listen, no matter if you talk to them or not. You're just gonna be talking them through the back of their eyes, because you know what I'm saying, they're really they consume so much information. So like if you think about it, a lot of them when they wake up in the morning, they own a cell phone, right? They are looking, scrolling from the time they wake up to the time they go to sleep. They doing this, and so much they're consuming, so much that if you come, they doing this, you doing this, and then you come talking into them, they're like,
Mhm.
huh? Like
Mhm.
what? You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like I just saw a TikTok video of a cat, doing a Magarena, right?
Right.
And you over here talking about, you need to look at what our ancestors did. Like they can't connect with that.
Right.
Um, and so I think what we have to do is, or what we should have done is, we need to tap into those individuals that are on those platforms and digital creators, and create something that gets their attention just like that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So everything is about marketing. That's the reason why for our program we offer digital marketing. We have our partnership with Meta and Instagram, where youth get a chance to learn how to make money, and become certified in digital marketing, which they can get a chance to see the inside of exactly what it is that they're consuming. And I think oftentimes, learning the back end of something gives
Mhm.
you a different perspective, because that's how I got into the financial industry. I grew up in the jets, you know what I'm saying? And if it wasn't for me being in the financial industry, my choices in financial would be totally different, because I learned from, not from a consumer side, but a professional side. And so that's why we offer the digital marketing certification. That's the reason why we offer the technical skills and financial education, not just this is a credit, this is a checkbook, this is a budget. We don't do that. You know what I mean? They make money and doing budgets for people. Okay.
Okay.
So it's because they're hands on, and that's the tangible activity because they need something to touch.
This is phenomenal. Now, you and I were together on Saturday or Sunday. I'm trying to keep
It
up
was
with it.
a Sunday.
It was Sunday, okay.
Mhm.
And we went out to the Bayside area
Yep.
and had a conversation with one of the pastors in that um, area.
Mhm.
And have y'all been able to reconnect? Because I think it's critically important that we don't let this drop. So if you have not,
I have.
you
We
and I,
actually have an appointment
all
coming
right,
up.
all right. So
Yep,
see,
on the 31st.
on the 31st, fantastic. So I'm excited about that because the whole point of networking is that we follow through and we actually get some things done.
Mhm.
So definitely keep me posted because if there's something that I can do to get involved in this, I would love to get involved in this because I think I shared with you, I used to be the youth advisor for the NAACP for years before I became the president of NAACP and
Okay.
then stepped down to just give them the support and all. And so youth is kind of one of my passions
Yeah,
and everything. So keep me posted. Would
sure.
love to help you find other people that can assist you with your program.
Yeah.
And let's grow this program.
Absolutely. And I mean, I would say some of our needs, our immediate needs are volunteers.
Mhm,
So we definitely need preferably business owners or people with flexible schedules during the day
mhm,
because we
mhm,
are just had a meeting this morning
mhm,
with a high school principal. And
mhm,
so we want to get our volunteers trained before the
mhm.
school year. Our program doesn't start till January.
Okay.
So we will be, getting our volunteers trained and getting the background checks and all of that stuff that's
Okay.
squared away. So we need to do that sooner rather than later. So yep, we're going to be focusing on, getting our volunteers, recruiting the youth, building relationships with the youth before our programming starts. That way they know who we are. We're not coming in cold. So, yep. Some other things that we need, obviously, we need ambassadors.
Mhm,
We need people who will come in, and if they can't encourage the youth physically, they can always do it digitally. So we have some digital platforms that will to allow volunteers to come in and volunteer online virtually.
mhm.
So we have those opportunities, and we got a few supplies for our studio that we still need. We need trash can. I put a whole list on our face on our social media. So Instagram is Young Investors Group YIG, Young Investors Group on Facebook, Young Investors Group on Twitter and LinkedIn. So please follow us. Like I said, we do have a list of some of the needs, some of the things we still need.
Okay, fantastic. Well, I'm excited because I can just see this blowing up, and we definitely need that hands on for our young people. I heard you loud and clear. I did some of the same things when I did youth. When we would go out of town for NAACP business meeting, we would check out ahead of time to find out what was the Black history in that area
Wow.
and take our young people to something there that showed them Black history. I remember taking them up to Maggie Lena Walker's house in Richmond, Virginia.
Ooh.
And this lady had started her own bank. She had her own insurance company because most people think of um, the other Madam C.J. Walker. They
Mhm.
forget about Maggie, who was right here in Virginia Beach. I mean, right here in Richmond. This lady had an elevator in her house, and that just blew the young people mind
Wow.
because she became very rich in the early 1920s. And
Wow.
so the young people were like, "Oh my God, she's got an elevator in her house."
Wow.
So just hands on, as you said, just can it just broadens their mindset,
Mhm.
because they see it instead of somebody telling them or reading about it in a book.
Mhm.
Even back then, before we had technology like we do today, it was still more amazing to see it and touch it and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Because of course she had pictures of almost everybody you could think of. W.E.B. Du Bois,
Wow.
Thurgood Marshall, all there, was in her home, of course. And so it was just phenomenal to know that here this person knew all these people, and
Yeah,
everything. So
that's cool.
what you're doing is phenomenal. I love it. I want to continue to encourage you. I want to continue to get the message out there about what you're doing, especially when it comes to economics, especially when it comes to building wealth, building wealth,
Yeah,
land ownership.
I I wanted to ask, where'd you get your earrings from?
Hello, I bet you know. Culture by L.E.
Oh, that's where I got my necklace from. Oh my gosh, and my shirt.
Culture by L.E. And I got
Yes.
these as well,
Let me
naturally.
see.
Yes.
Oh
Culture
my
by
gosh. Oh,
L.E.
those are nice. Look at my
Yes.
shirt.
And then I have another one, another set, naturally dope.
Wonderful. Now, have you ever seen this shirt? Before James
No.
Bond, there was. Uh-oh.
Lafayette. She was telling me about the Lafayette
Yeah.
shirt. Yeah, so I'm
Yes.
naturally fly. I can tell you, I am naturally fly. I'm
Okay.
naturally dope, and and these are my Nefertiti's
Wonderful.
earrings, and
I
I
love
love it.
those. Those
I
are. I
love
love me
it.
some earrings, honey. I love me some
Mhm.
earrings. Well, thank you so much for having me
Oh, you're
on your
welcome.
show. I appreciate you, allowing me to share and for us having this dialogue.
Well, we're going to send you the link afterwards so that you can send it to all of your social media outlets. We're on YouTube now. And so we're
Nice.
just going to keep on pushing this out and just letting people know yes, we are pulling ourselves up by our bootstraps. Okay.
Mhm.
And we have always done that. We've always been successful. It's you guys over there, the oppressor. Every time we do it, you come in and mess in our house and in our sandbox. So we just need you to stay in your lane, get out of our lane so we can do what we do. And what we do it the best.
That's right. You better know it.
Okay, so you got any closing comments?
I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for this platform. Like she said, make sure you follow and subscribe and like, because any platform that gives this type of content is definitely needed in the community, because there are people that are not having these conversations, and so
Absolutely.
kudos to you all for having these conversations.
Well, we thank you again, and you're always welcome to come and share. And again, I'm going to go online, I'm going to sign up and see if I can participate in your upcoming event on October the 1st, 2022.
Yay! I will send it right over. I can actually send a link as well. I can send you. I'm gonna do it right now.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Again, you are hearing from Kezia Hendricks with Youth, I always get it right,
Young Investors
Young
Group.
Investors Group.
Yep.
And these are our young people that she is teaching how to own real estate, how to buy cars, how to get their banking in order. All of these different things is learning it now as young people so they can be very wealthy and we can begin to close that economic gap, close that wealth gap, and move our young people in the next generation forward. So, again, we thank you. We look forward to seeing you again soon. And you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.
Thank you. Bye bye.
You're welcome. Bye bye. Fantastic. Another great information. I mean, I am just so, oh my gosh. What she is doing with our young people, the podcast, Finishing Green, showing them how to have money and showing them how not only to have it, but to keep it and then to build on it and to grow it, so that our young people can have wealth. It is fantastic. And talking to them about land ownership and real estate and, real estate development, all of those things that are now being taught to our young people in high school. You're on mute. Yes. Yes.
And when it comes to our young people and talking to them, and it's because a lot of young people are in gangs. What benefit are you walking around with a gun and y'all can make money and buy land and own your own property,
Right.
your own merchandise, and you out here to the pipeline to prison? It's easy to go to prison. It's easier if you study and learn how to use your money and the group of people you're putting together, a group of people that can save their money and invest. Y'all can invest,
Absolutely.
you know.
I
So
mean, at a young age, I have this piggy bank. I think it has 4 slots. One
uh,
is for savings, one is for investing, one is for giving, and there's one more, and I can't remember the fourth slot. But young people can use that piggy bank, and it was created by a young Black girl
yeah,
years ago. We got it when we were at an NAACP convention. It was just phenomenal, and just imagine if the young people were doing this all the time,
right,
using that piggy bank to put money in each one of those slots.
yeah,
And then at the end of the month, they take that money and if they're investing, they give it to their financial advisor to invest that $25 or $50 each month
yeah.
and watch that grow. And they started doing that at 3 years old or 4 years old. And now when they turn 18 years old, they've already got their wealth built up,
Because
already built up.
yeah, because when
Oh,
I
the other one is for spending. The
yeah,
fourth slot is for spending. You got a
yeah,
slot for spending, saving, investing, and then also for giving. So that could be you put away a percentage for church, for nonprofit, for what have you. And it's teaching them early that these 3 slots, we still give you a fourth slot so that occasionally you want to have a good time. It's okay because you're following a structure that's helping you to grow and become all that you can be. So I'm so excited. Again,
yeah,
we are getting close to the end of the show. But again, I want to just remind everybody it's an election year and we need you to go to the polls. And you'll probably say, well, why do I have to go to the polls and why should I vote? Well, let me tell you why you should vote. Okay. The why, I know you've heard it before, because people fought for the right to vote, they marched for the right to vote, and they died for the right to vote. But the other why is if you are not voting, you let someone else make all your decisions for you. And if voting wasn't important, guess what? They wouldn't be closing down polls. They wouldn't tell you that you can't give someone water if they're standing in line at the polls. If voting wasn't important, they wouldn't change the way the districts are drawn to try to limit your power. So that's the why. And what are you voting for? You're voting to keep power, to build power, to leverage power, and to ensure that the people coming behind you will have power. And how do you vote? You first get registered and then you go down to the polls and you vote. You can early vote. Early voting will start 9/23/2022 and end on November the 5th, 2022 here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. The deadline to register. So if you have not registered to vote, you have until October the 17th to register to vote. And so what I want to do is I want to encourage you to go out, find your friends and your relatives. But the other reason why, and it's so important to vote, because there's so many family members, so many people in your community who may have lost their right to vote. And so when you go to the poll and vote, you not only vote for yourself, but you vote for that child who's less than 18 years old and cannot yet vote. You vote for that person who lost their voting rights and can no longer vote for a period of time. So that is why you vote. Again, keep in mind the legislatures may not do everything that you want, but take a look at who's holding up those bills and who's preventing those bills from passing. And perhaps you need to focus on removing some of those people to add to your numbers. If there's a group of people that are voting on the things and voting for the things that you care about, and you're not getting the whole entire bill passed, maybe you need to remove some of those people who are the obstructionists and preventing you. And I want to say this again and again and again, because what has happened is people get bogged down with, well, I voted for them and they haven't done everything, or they didn't do what I wanted them to do. Well, guess what? They can only do those things if they have the numbers to do those things. So with that being said, again, I am Georgia F. Allen, GA for Justice. This has been another fabulous Thursday. We're here every week at noon, every Thursday from 12 to 1. We invite you to join us, GA for Justice. Send it out to your family, your friends, share it. And make sure that people are watching, because you know what? It's about you. This show is about you and about empowering you so that you're able to reach the goals that you want to reach. And with that said, thank you so much, Henderson, for allowing us this platform to reach out to our community at large.
All right. No doubt about it. You do an excellent job. Your guest was excited and full of information and knowledge to turn over to our young people. You've been watching for the last hour, GA for Justice, with the host, Georgia Allen, former president of the NAACP in Virginia Beach. And now she's hosting her own talk show on WVDM Radio, fueled by Bond Digital Media. Until the next time, to next Thursday, don't forget, the most important thing coming up is voting. Until the next time we meet, to the next time we greet, remember to love yourself and put God first. Everything else will fall in place. It doesn't matter what others think about you. It's what you think about yourself. Until then, we're saying bye-bye.